Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fine. We are still revising P4 work, and this time around we are going to look at major body organs of P4. Major body organs of P4 are in the theme called human body. It is a very simple topic, much as somehow I'll be putting in some P6 and P7 content, but I'm discussing major body organs of P4. Under major body organs of P4, we look at the following, we discuss the following. We discuss the head, organs on the head. We discuss the organs on the head. And the organs on the head, we talk about the brain, the eyes, and the ears. Those are the ones we talk about. Then we get into the trunk. We get into the trunk. The trunk is divided into two parts. We have got the chest cavity or thoracic cavity, and then we also have the abdominal cavity. And it is the diaphragm that separates separates the top cavity from the lower cavity. So in the chest cavity, we are going to discuss the heart and the lungs. Then in the abdominal cavity, we are going to talk about the stomach, the kidneys, the liver, the urinary bladder, and the pancreas. So sit tight, get some notebook where in case you feel like noting anything, but the lesson is going to be a very easy one. You just have to keep listening in. Okay. I'm starting with the organs in the head. In the head, inside the head, somewhere in there, you have got a brain. What is our concern with the brain? P4 level. Our concern is discussing the function of the brain. And maybe we shall talk about bad health habits for the brain and the good health habits for the brain. Okay. The brain is found in your head. The brain is protected by the skull. Sometimes some people call it the cranium. The cranium. So the brain has got a number of functions, like one, it is the center of memory. It stores information. Then two, it is the center of intelligence. We use our brain for thinking. Three, it coordinates different bodily activities. It coordinates different bodily activities. Like we have got a number of systems. We have a number of systems, and it coordinates those systems so that you are a properly functioning organism, you as a whole. Then the other one, it interprets nerve signals. Your brain interprets nerve messages or nerve signals. Those are some of the functions of the brain. Then, it also helps us in balancing in some movements. The brain helps us in balancing. So the major parts of the brain, as per the lower level, we shall not talk about the very complex parts. We shall talk about simple parts. Like the brain has got a cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata. I'm just talking about those few parts. Cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata. Those are some of the main parts of the brain for our level. Then, bad health habits for the brain include alcohol. Consuming alcohol, that's bad for the brain. And drug abuse. Alcoholism and drug abuse, those are some of the bad health habits for the brain. Then, good health habits for the brain include, one, having a balanced diet, and then two, doing regular physical exercises, three, having enough sleep or rest. Those are some of the good health habits for the brain. Then let's get to the eyes. What do we need to know about the eyes? One, the function of the eye or the eyes. Two, we need to know the parts of the eye. Three, diseases of the eye. Four, good health habits of the eye. Five, the good health habits, that is in maintaining the eye, and the bad health habits. Your eyes are used for seeing. The parts of the eye, we have got, if we are looking at the front view of the eye, we have got that white part around the eye. The white part around the eye is called the sclera, S-C-L-E-R-A, that white part. That's the sclera. Then we have got the iris, and in the iris there's a hole. So the iris controls the amount of light entering the eye, and the hole allows light into the eye. We have already discussed this when we are looking at light energy. Remember when we are learning light energy P7, we crown it by looking at the eye. So by now, a P7 candidate, class 7 candidate, you really know how the eye works, and you can draw the eye, whether it's the side view or the front view. Then, then diseases of the eye, we have got a number of them. We have got conjunctivitis, we have got trachoma, we have got STY, S-T-Y, STY, we have got iritis, inflammation of the iris. Then we have got blepharitis, where this margin, the margin of the eye swells and it feels inflamed. Yeah, blepharitis, conjunctivitis, glaucoma. There's glaucoma. Yeah, so I'm adding some P7 stuff into the P4 work. So basically this lesson is for a P7 candidate. Glaucoma, that is when the pressure the pressure builds up in the fluids. There are fluids in the eye. We have got vitreous and aqueous humor. When there's build-up of pressure in the eye, that situation is called glaucoma. Those are some of the eye diseases. How do we maintain the eye? Number one, we should have a balanced diet. We should have a balanced diet because, first of all, balanced diet includes water. We need to take plenty of water. We've just realized that you need tears, you need to replenish the fluids in the eye. We need a lot of vitamins like A, which help with proper eyesight. Proteins help in repairing worn out tissues. The eyes need repair. Then we also need carbohydrates because the eye needs to respire. The final product for the carbohydrates is glucose. The eye needs glucose so that it can respire. So maintaining, we need a balanced diet. Then two, we need to wash the eyes. When you're washing your face, you wash the eyes with clean water. Don't open the eye and scrub it. You just wash. You wash the surface. You wash these corners here, because the eye at least can cleanse itself when you're asleep. It's a self-cleaning organ. So your role is to remove this stuff that has been deposited in the corners in the morning. Then the next thing is you don't need to play rough games for you to maintain your eyes. You don't need to play rough games. When you play rough games, you might lose an eye. Yeah, and we should also use enough light. We should use enough light to prevent straining the eye. And maybe the other way is we should wear protective goggles. In some of these activities that we are doing, we should wear protective goggles to protect the eye. For example, swimmers have their goggles. People who ride motorcycles have their goggles. These people are going to to the beach where there's plenty of sunshine. They have their shades they wear. Which other people use goggles? The people who do welding, who deal with very bright light, also have their goggles so that they can protect the eye. That's something about the eye. Let's get to the ear. The ears are found on the sides of your head, but that is the outer ear. The ear does not stop where you see it. It extends inside the head. That's why they say the skull not only protects the brain and the eyes, it also protects the ear, especially the inner ear. Now, the ears are used for body balancing, and they also help us in hearing. That's why someone keeps asking, how useful are ears to a deaf person? The ears to a deaf person help in body balancing. Then, yeah, the ears. Regions of the ears have got, we have the outer ear, then we have the middle ear, then the inner ear. You did that in P6 when you are crowning sound energy. The outer ear comprises the pinna and the auditory canal. Then the middle ear has got the eardrum and the ossicles, and it is filled with air. That middle ear is filled with air. There's a eustachian tube that balances air pressure in the middle ear with the atmosphere. Then we get to the inner ear. In the inner ear, we have got the semicircular canals and the cochlea. You need to go get back into your book so that you can revise the function of each one of those parts. I'm not getting into there. I'm just giving the functions of the ear for hearing and body balancing. Then diseases of the ear. Diseases of the ear, we have got otitis media, otitis externa. We have got otosclerosis. There's glue ear. Glue ear is also called wax impaction. Exostosis. Okay, some of those, the names are a bit complicated, but the very basic answers, we have got otitis media, otitis externa, wax impaction, or glue ear. Okay, then the good health habits for the ear. We should not play rough games. We should, when we are bathing, we should wash the ears with clean water. We are not supposed to push sharp objects into the ear because you can damage the eardrum. All those questions come. Why aren't we supposed to push sharp objects into our ear? It is because we can damage the eardrum, leading to permanent deafness. Which other health habit? We should not listen to very loud sounds. Very loud sounds can also can damage the eardrum or tympanic membrane. Okay, that is something about the ear. So when we are dealing with the major body organs on the head, those are the parts we look at. Yes, there are other organs we have not looked at, like the tongue is used for tasting. Then we have got the nose for smelling. Those are sense organs, which we are not digging into those because the book is not catering for that. But I hope you know much about them. Then let's get to the trunk. The trunk is that part of your body that excludes the head and the limbs. That part is called the trunk that excludes the head and the limbs. The trunk is divided into two. It's divided into the upper cavity and the lower cavity. The upper cavity is called the chest cavity and the lower cavity is called the thoracic. The lower one is called the abdominal cavity. The upper one is called chest or thoracic cavity. In our chest cavity, we have got 3 organs, 2 lungs and 1 heart. 2 lungs and 1 heart. So we are going to talk about the lungs. The lungs are located in your chest cavity or thoracic cavity. What are they used for? The lungs are used for respiration. Your lungs are used for respiration, or we can say they oxygenate blood. They add oxygen to blood and they excrete carbon dioxide. They add oxygen to blood and they excrete carbon dioxide. Okay. Then the diseases of the lungs we covered in two topics. There's excretory system P7 and then there's respiratory system P6. Under excretory, okay, the diseases. Yeah, the diseases, tuberculosis, there's emphysema, there's asthma. Asthma is really, okay, majorly hereditary. So diseases, we have whooping cough, influenza. Now these days there's even COVID-19, influenza, tuberculosis, whooping cough, which is also called pertussis, and the likes. Those are diseases of the lungs. And then the bad health habits for the lungs, we have one major one, which is smoking. That's a very bad health habit, smoking, tobacco, and these other drugs. Then there's also another bad health habit, living in areas that are not well ventilated is also not good for the lungs. How do we maintain the lungs? One, don't smoke. Don't smoke. Two, we should take children for immunization because some of the diseases I've mentioned are immunizable diseases. For example, tuberculosis and which one is this? Tuberculosis and pertussis or whooping cough. There's even Haemophilus influenza. Haemophilus influenza is immunizable. Haemophilus influenza B. Okay. And then we should have a balanced diet. Then we should also live in well-ventilated places, well-ventilated rooms. Then, did I talk of balanced diet? Balanced diet, physical exercises. Physical exercises make us take in a lot of air, which improves the functioning of the lungs, and so on and so forth. The heart. The heart is located in your chest cavity. It's located in your chest cavity, more into the left side. It's more into the left side. Its function is to pump blood to all body parts. Details of the heart, you have to go and revise your circulatory system. How many chambers make the parts of the heart? These chambers, the septum in the middle, which separates the left side from the right side. Those blood vessels on the heart, like the aorta, vena cava, pulmonary artery, and pulmonary vein. You need to go back into your circulatory system and you revise those terms. Diseases of the heart include hypertension and hypotension. Hypertension is high blood pressure. Hypotension is low blood pressure. Then we have also got a disease called, what is this one? There's a disease called coronary heart disease. Coronary heart disease. That one, when you have a problem with your coronaries, with those blood vessels that supply your heart with blood. That's called coronary heart disease. It's caused by a number of things, which include smoking and our diet, the kind of junk stuff we take, the fat, and so on. Then, those are some of the diseases. Then, bad health habits for the heart. The bad health habits for the heart include smoking, and alcohol consumption. Living a sedentary lifestyle where you're not exercising, that's also bad for the heart. So now the good health habits for the heart. One, One, doing regular physical body exercises. Regular as in, you should be able to do some physical body exercises because they make the heart beat faster and harder, yeah, and improve its working. Two, yeah, it also it becomes stronger. The muscles, the cardiac muscles become stronger when you do some exercises. Two, you should have a balanced diet so that you can maintain it, so that you can have food that is from which we are going to get cells to replace the worn out ones and so on. Yeah, that's something about the heart. Then continuing to the abdomen, let's get to the stomach. The stomach is located in your abdominal cavity. Its major function is to store food as you are eating. There are very many other uses of the stomach, like producing gastric juice. It is where digestion of proteins begins. It churns food into chyme, and so on. But those ones go and revise your digestive system. The diseases of the stomach include peptic ulcers. Peptic ulcers. Peptic ulcers, the causes, starvation, stress, and so on. Yeah. Good health habits for the stomach. You should eat food in the right time so that you don't starve. Don't smoke. Don't consume alcohol because it leads to peptic ulcers, and it also worsens the ulcers. Kidneys. The kidneys are located in the lower back of your abdominal cavity. They are two in number. They are reddish brown in color. Their function is to purify blood by filtering it. When they purify blood by filtering it, they are able to remove wastes like excess water, excess salts, urea, and uric acid, what we are calling urine. Okay, diseases of the kidneys, kidney cancer, kidney failure, nephritis, bilharziasis. When the worst gets to the worst, gonorrhea can also attack that system, the kidneys, and so on and so forth. Good health habits for the kidneys: stop taking raw salt, stop adding salt to food, reduce the intake of fizzy drinks, do regular physical body exercises, take plenty of water, take plenty of water, and yes. Those are some of the regular physical body exercise: taking plenty of water, reduce the intake of fizzy drinks, and stop adding salt to food. The liver. The liver is also located somewhere close to your stomach there. The liver. Now, the liver is found in the abdominal cavity. And then, what is the use of the liver? The liver has got very many functions, which include regulating blood sugar, producing bile. Your liver stores some vitamins like A and D. Your liver helps in deamination. Deamination means converting excess amino acids to energy, and the rest will be given off as a nitrogenous compound or waste. Then your liver also helps in detoxification. Detoxification, if you don't want to write that, you say it makes harmful materials less harmful. The materials that we take into our body that are very harmful, it makes them less harmful. Let's get to the urinary bladder. The urinary bladder is located in the abdominal cavity, somewhere below, in between the kidneys there. Okay. Its function is it stores urine shortly before it is passed out. Don't just say it stores urine. Does it store forever? No, it stores urine shortly before it is passed out. Because remember, you were told that your kidneys are always forming urine, even during the time when you're peeing or when you're urinating, there's urine being formed. But this This urinary bladder helps us to store it and until we dispose it off at the right time. Finally, let me talk about the pancreas. The pancreas is also situated in the abdominal cavity. So we have got a lot of organs in our abdominal cavity. Now the pancreas is some creamy-shaped organ there. One of its uses is it secretes pancreatic juice. That is its digestive role. It secretes pancreatic juice. What do we find in pancreatic juice? Enzymes like trypsin, pancreatic amylase, and lipase. Lipase acts on the fats or lipids. It acts on the lipids, and then pancreatic amylase continues with the digestion of starch. Remember, it had come to a halt when food reached the stomach because the conditions in the stomach are acidic. So it continues. It resumes with the digestion of starch. But this time it also includes the uncooked starch, not only the cooked, but also the uncooked starch. It also, there's trypsin, which continues with the diet to break down proteins. Any proteins that were not thoroughly broken down by the pepsin in the stomach. Then that is its digestive role. It secretes pancreatic juice. Then it also has got an endocrine role. Okay, it has got another role, which is it produces a certain hormone. That hormone helps in regulating blood sugar, and that hormone is called insulin. Insulin. A hormone called insulin. We have talked about all these things. You have the spellings. If you were discussing these things, if I was talking about these things when you have your book, you would be checking the spellings every now and then. I thank you for listening to this video or watching this video to the very end. Share with a friend, remind a friend to revise this system. Thank you for watching. We shall meet again another time. Ciao.